My mindset is if I to be ready if I need to play.
Is it easier because you've been in this situation kind of before to not knowing until maybe Friday whether you're going to start or not?
Yeah, I think got a lot of different experiences to draw from. Whether you find out the day before the game, you're thrown into the game, first quarter, second half, or you get the whole week of reps. So that's you definitely draw from those experiences.
Mason, Mike Thomas said you were losing confidence Sunday. Did you feel as if that was taking place?
Felt like I was oozing jitters about confidence, but I think it's always like your first couple of completions that gets you into the rhythm of the game. But it was nice working with the first team offense quite a lot through training camp and then into the preseason games to kind of, when you go in the huddle, it's not like there's a bunch of new faces that you hadn't worked with. So that was good.
Even though Aaron's an older guy, he doesn't seem like he takes a lot of time off practice. Has there been much time for you since training camp to get those experiences, and what's that like?
I get. You're right. It's incredible the way, he hasn't missed a practice. He hasn't missed a rep really all season, and he's been banged up at times, and he's quite a he's a tough competitor. But yes, I mean in the natural flow of practice, I'll get 3 reps out of a 10-pack, so you get enough to kind of stay sharp enough.
How do you make up for that then? Do you work extra on the side, stay after?
Well, you get the scout team reps, which are fun, and it's fun to compete when you just you see a card for 3 seconds and you go execute it, and then we've kind of gotten to a rhythm with the quarterbacks of we call it a little walk and talk after practice, and something I learned from the great Trevor Siemian. Just a little, just getting together and brainstorming about what coverage could I get here? We'll talk through your read, and it's a very conducive environment without the threat of getting reprimanded for a wrong answer by a coach. So it's just the boys.
We asked Aaron about you earlier. He said that you're a troll and that you have like a list of jokes that you have to get off at every meeting. What is the relationship like from your perspective?
It's pretty harsh coming from a troll himself, but he is. I think. I do have a list of. Well, I don't make a list, but we've got a good healthy banter, all of us in the quarterback room each and every day, and it's been one of the most fun rooms I've ever been a part of. So we keep it light, and there's a lot of, there's a lot of material out there for me to use. So he's at a little bit of a disadvantage because I don't have the paparazzi waiting outside my house in Malibu every day. So.
What's your favorite material to use on him?
Probably nothing that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of good stuff. What's PG? I would say, I think. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think I don't think there's anything. He's got a very storied. He's a big plant medicine guy. And so we were curious about learning about, that and his experiences and where he's been and a great story about him getting out of, I believe it was Peru right before COVID lockdown. He was like the last plane out during a trip for ayahuasca. So that was a fun listen.
Mason, did you think that you'd have this close of a relationship with him before he signed here?
I didn't know what to expect. You never know. But I had enough mutual friends that said he was just an awesome guy in the room, and a lot of these ultra famous and ultra successful, but like can let his guard down and just be about as normal as you can ask for. So we've all appreciated that.
When there's a situation like this where he doesn't know if he's going to play, you don't know if you're going to play, do you feel that there's the overwhelming support of each other no matter what happens on Sunday?
Yeah, I know that he was very complimentary of me and us after the game, and gave everybody a lot of high fives, and I've always tried to do whatever I can on game day, whether that's just shut up or give a piece of feedback here and there, and we've got a great working relationship.
How does that help your confidence? How does that help your confidence as a quarterback to have Rodgers, high five you guys and give you that kind of feedback when he's, out of the game and watching from the locker room?
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be if 14-year-old me knew that I was getting a nice dap from A-Rod after a game, it'd be pretty darn exciting. So he's very very kind and complimentary.
Mason, I know that you guys, you have your own stuff that you like that you give to Arthur every week, but is there a pretty fair share of overlap in what you and Aaron like, or is it, so that if whoever's back there, the plan's gonna kind of be pretty similar?
Yeah, I think, I always send him my favorites within the game plan each week, 1, 2, 3 in each and every category, but it's pretty similar, and so it wasn't a huge transition with Arthur to have to go from one guy to the next, I don't think.
Is it, like you played pretty well on Sunday, is it, and maybe you play this Sunday and maybe you don't, as a competitor, what's it like to sort of walk that line? Thinking, you got a taste of it, you had some success, and maybe you get to have sit down and have another meal, or maybe you get to watch.
What do you
how do you, as a competitor, how do you sort of, is this something you had to sort of, look, this is my job, let go of that sort of not being upset or angry or whatever phrase you want to use to sort of say, the opportunity is going to go to somebody else?
It's a good question. I think it's a balance of you have to be chomping at the bit, every time your number's called. Otherwise, you're going to miss an opportunity and you won't be in the right mental state. And then, but I've been back and forth. I got plenty of experience of going back and forth in different roles, and so it's part of what's probably chilled out my personality a little bit, because I just say screw it, and I just roll with the punches.
Is there anything based off your experience in Tennessee that made you different than you were when you won the 3
Broadway.
Mason, have you got a
like
sense?
Tootsies or
Say what? Tootsies? I don't know. There was some nice people at Dirk Bentley Whiskey Row. It was a good spot. So, yeah.
Mason, you got a sense this past week, or talking to Aaron, how much he enjoys playing Chicago for his career?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he made the comment early on that there's certain games that mean a lot, and there's games you circle, and this was one of them. And so I understand his, motivation to come back and take the field against an old rival.
Have to go with Mason instead of Aaron.
Yeah, it's a change. We've spent a lot of time working with Mason though, and whoever we have back there, we feel confident in.
How much does it help that he did take a lot of reps in OTAs and he's been around and you guys all seem to know him pretty well?
Yeah, that definitely helps a ton, being around him. Obviously, you saw him. He came in last week and executed. We have a ton of confidence in him, and so we'll see what happens. We're going to be prepared for whatever.
Mason, how about from a respect standpoint about how he's handled everything in his career?
Yeah, a ton of respect to him. He's battled. He's been the one. He's been the backup, and he's always came in and done a really good job. And so it's a ton of respect for him for that regard.
What was his demeanor like in the huddle there in the second half of last week?
Yeah, he calmed down pretty quick. I think he had a little bit of jitters coming in. I think he said that, but he definitely calmed down really quick. You could see that he's played a lot of football, and it's good to have someone back there that's confident.
Mason, when we talked with Mike Tomlin yesterday, he said that teams are really revealing themselves at this time of year. You're either consistently improving or you're not. How do you guys make sure you are consistently improving?
Yeah. Definitely happens in November football. We just got to go out and practice hard today and just keep climbing. We've said that all along. O-line play takes a little bit of time, and we like to think that we've been getting better, and we want to continue on that trajectory of getting better.
Mason, how tough is it for the offensive line when you don't know who your quarterback's going to be maybe until Friday?
In some instances, it might be tough, but I feel like we have played and been around Mason and Aaron enough to know who they are, to know what they like, and so I don't think it should be that big of a challenge.
Mason's demeanor or anything changed much once Aaron got here in the spring, or is he kind of steady, same guy? Like, I don't know, you hear about substitute teacher energy or vice president energy from the backup quarterback.
No, Mason's been the same consistent guy. He's a professional, and he knows that some of those decisions are out of his control, and he does a really good job excelling in whatever his role is.
I know you weren't here during the early part of Mason's career, but how aware were you of everything that happened in 2019 and kind of going forward, just his journey?
Yeah, I've definitely watched it from afar and seen it. I've seen him step in before and do a really good job, and so that's why it's nice because he's done something like this before, and we'll see what happens, obviously. But we definitely have confidence in him.
Mason, how does Kenny G fit in your group?
Kenny's awesome. Kenny, Jalen, Caleb, even Trey, they're all awesome. They do a really good job making us look good at times.
Mason, doesn't seem like there's a lot of ego with those dudes. Like after Kenny G scored the second touchdown, the first guy to greet him coming off the field was Jalen.
Yeah, no, there's no ego with them, and that's what's really cool about that room is they want everybody to eat. They know what the running back position is in this league, and it's a challenging one, and so you need everybody in that room, and they embrace that, and it's pretty cool to see that.
What is what Darnell does give you guys such a jolt?
I mean, watching a guy that size run and hurdle and stiff arm people is it's pretty crazy. I remember on his big run that went viral, me and Isaac were just looking at each other at the end of the play, getting up to the huddle for the next snap, like, oh my gosh, did that just happen? And it's cool to see.
Oh, good, Jeff.
I was going to say, does it make you feel like you're in his shoes, like you're a big guy too? Like, hey, that's
as much as I'd like to think I could do that, I couldn't. So it's cool to be able to see that, though.
Say in the NBA, like being the sixth man is like a big deal. They're almost like a fraternity of six-man O linemen. It seems like they've been used even more in the NFL this year and in recent years.
Yeah, I mean, Spence has had to start games for us, play tight end. I mean, he's a crucial part of our O line, and he kind of can do a little bit of everything. So very valuable for us.
I know you've obviously center here, been a center a lot in your career, but have you ever been the sixth man at any point?
I've not. Yeah. Yep.
Zach, how tough is it not knowing who your quarterback is until Friday? Like, what do you guys have to prepare for this week?
Yeah, I would just say, I feel confident in both guys. Mason, obviously, we got a ton of reps over the summer. Actually, all of OTAs, I got reps with Mason, and very confident in him. And then, obviously, all the work with Aaron this year. So, whoever's out there, I feel confident that they can go out there and help us win the game.
That's what I wanted to ask you. I mean, the fact that he was here and he was the only quarterback here at the
Yeah.
time, how much does that help? Not only you, but the entire
Yeah, I mean,
offensive line,
it
really?
was, it's huge because, I mean, we just kind of developed a relationship over the summer, and, I mean, it's just reps and snaps, and feel confident with Mason.
What's the biggest difference? What's the biggest difference for you between the two of them?
It's really not. I don't know. I feel like I always operate the same, no matter who's back there. I don't think it's a big difference for me, from like a communication standpoint and stuff like that.
Have you ever snapped to a quarterback with a wrist injury, a fracture?
I have not.
I mean, how do you, I guess, think about that going into the week if Aaron is able to go and test it out? Like, you guys have to have conversations about what's going to go into that? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But I assume if he's good enough to play, I'm sure that he'll be good enough to take a snap. I assume. I don't think we can, or I don't think there'd be any difference in the snap if he's good to go. But
He didn't get on you too hard about the wrist jam.
No, I saw it.
He did tell us to ask you about it. We gave a couple weeks grace period.
Yeah, I saw. I guess everyone was blowing up my phones because I guess they put it on TV. And
Yeah,
stuff.
they were showing it on the pregame broadcast.
Yeah. So I snapped it a little early, and he was showing me like all his bent fingers from playing all those years. But he was fine. But yeah, it was fun.
What was Mason's demeanor like in the huddle in the second half of last week's game?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell he was prepared. He prepares every week. So when he was in the huddle, he was confident and, led us that second half.
Zach, just overall as a leader, what's he like?
Yeah, he's a confident guy. He goes out there. He's a great leader of the offense. Like I said, we all have faith in Mason, and we've seen it on the field.
For you, just how have you felt your season has been coming along here? You've had a lot of really impactful plays over the last handful of games here.
Yeah, I feel like it's coming along well, and just us getting a better understanding of each other as a defense individually has been coming along, and we still got a ways to go, but we're going in the right direction for sure.
What's been working so well?
Just trusting in the process, for real. Like I said before, I don't think nothing drastic has changed, just being more confident in the process and keeping my body together and going out there and putting on display.
I don't know how much early tape you've watched of Caleb Williams, but is he unique to some of the other running guys that you've seen this year?
Yeah, you know, he's a guy who knows how to use his legs to get those yards, extend plays, and we got to find a way to keep him in that QB trap as a defensive line.
How much of a challenge is it? I know obviously every team you face every week is a challenge, but when there's such an offensive-minded head coach like there is in Chicago with Ben Johnson, how much of a challenge is that on you guys based on what you've seen from them, all the trick plays and stuff that they like to run in that way?
It's just staying disciplined, not seeing too much, and going out there and playing ball with the trick plays and stuff like that. You know, they once every so often, so you just gotta read your keys and play true.